So let's read this sentence again from the beginning. So it says, according to our sages would say, a person should always occupy himself in Torah study, whether for the sake of God or whether for not for the sake of God. Okay, we just commented. For from the study of the Torah which is not carried out for the sake of God will come the study of the Torah which is carried out for the sake of God. Okay, so commentary. Rashi and Bracha 17a and Tosafos Ta'anit 7a notes that the Talmud is extremely critical of those who do not occupy themselves with the Torah for the sake of God. So that is, as you said, like it's better for them to die in some case. Okay. Ta'anit 7a declares that whenever a person does not study Torah for the sake of God, the Torah becomes deadly potion for him. So it's not like it's not good or it's not nice. So it's like it's a poison for him, deadly potion, right? Bracha 17a say that it would have been better for a person who does not study Torah for the sake of God not to have been born. So it's like very harsh, right? In resolution, the commentary explained that there are two levels of occupying oneself with the Torah study, not for the sake of God. So I mean, like it's clear contradiction, right? Clear. So what is the explanation? A, to gain wealth, honor, and other benefits is similar to as implied as by Rambam here. So one more time, gain wealth, honor, and other benefits. Okay. So that's one, and the second one, not both of them are not for the sake of God reasons, right? And second, to order and wax a collar. So in order to make fun of him. So somebody like in my shul, there is a younger person, yeshiva bochur, right? So he gives a Shabbos lecture, like classes before the mincha, like 40 minutes or 35, whatever. Like, I mean, he's a very knowledgeable guy, but he's I don't know, maybe 22 years old. He's very, very knowledgeable, very nice, very, very sweet guy. And sometimes these older people who learn exactly 2.5 things, so they try to like pinch him and stuff, like, you understand? So this is exactly what it's in order to wax a colic, like to show them, yeah, maybe you sit in there and teaching all us older people, but guess what? We know better, right? I just asked you the question that you did not know the answer. So for this second category, also it should suggest occupation with Torah study, even if it's not intended for the sake of God. If one has a formal motives. So formal meaning this one. Formal mean that they to gain the wealth, right? However, one's motives are the latter meaning this to make fun of the colic, then our sages' harsh words of criticism apply. So it's not always. So I mean, if he only for honor, for to be called a rabbi, so maybe has a chance. But other guy, it's like purely he makes Torah actually his weapon, that he goes and humiliate another person, which is absolutely not allowed. So for that, about such a person, Torah says it's better for him not to be born. Okay, so commentary. Actually, the commentary will say it's carried out for the sake of God. So I mean, he starts doing not for the sake of God and going to bring him for the sake of God. Commentary last and we stop. So it says the introduction to Eicha Rabbah 2 quotes God as saying, "Would that Israel abandon me and keep my Torah." Right. So it's a very famous verse. So Hashem says, "Okay, they want me." No problem. Okay, what can I do? It's not no problem. It is big issue, right? But let them at least not abandon my Torah, right? So it's God says, "Would that Israel abandon me and keep my Torah, for its light will ultimately return them to good." Who is good? Hashem is good. If Jew frequently occupies himself with Torah, the inner godly nature of the Torah will eventually have the effect upon him and motivate him to serve God with the proper intention. So that's I'm not reading Rambam, that's commentary. So I would say maybe yes and maybe no. It depends what kind of Torah he's reading, and depends of what kind of teacher he has. I know many people, they 14, 15, 60, they exactly like same animals that were like all these years. Torah did not change them a bit. They get the new information, but extra information they forgot more, did not change. Okay. There is a deeper aspect. So I mean, unless a person works from himself, he's trying to apply this Torah not to be just something like he has to listen for 45 minutes or 20 minutes or 2 hours, 5 hours, whatever, how many hours. So unless he's trying to work on himself, it's not going to change. Not at the moment. I mean, it's going to help him, give him some ideas that he has to change, but that's it. There's a deeper aspect of the statement. This Hebrew word translated as from also can be interpreted from the inner part. Okay. Every element of the Jewish life is motivated by his godly potential. Though he may think that he is performing a mitzvah for selfish intent, the inner core of that service is the Jew desires to cling to God without ulterior motives. Okay, that's the godly soul that is inside of the Jew wants to connect to God without any ulterior, just to be close to Him. That's it, right? Rambam elaborates on this principle that a selfish desire can be used as a motivation for involvement in Torah, and in his commentary to the Mishnah, in his introduction to the 10th chapter of Sanhedrin. Meaning, so of course we say as that's exactly the example I wanted to give. Okay, he's going to explain now. Listen, it's beautifully said. When a young child is brought to a teacher to be taught the Torah, this is the greatest good for him, allowing him to attain fulfillment. Okay, so meaning for a child, does he know? No. Right? He has no idea. However, because of his youth and undeveloped intellect, the child does not comprehend this good. Therefore, it is necessary for a teacher to motivate his studies with the things that he loves. I mean, a child loves. He should tell him, I will give you nuts, figs, and little honey. It is out of this motivation that the child begins to study. So not because he understands, it's good for me, not good for me. Okay, so he sees the reaction of the teacher or the parents that they're very excited that he's getting the knowledge, she's getting the knowledge. Okay, and you give some gifts. The child studies not because of the essence of the study, for the child has no comprehension of that, but because of the food. Okay, so it's purely for the food, no spiritual things. Okay. Eating these delicacies is more important for him to the actual study. So it's not, and still, as Rambam said, it's not a problem on this level. When he becomes older, his intellect grows to the point where he realizes that the worthlessness of these items, he should be encouraged and motivated to learn the promise of the things he holds dear. His teacher should tell him, study and I will buy you nice shoes and beautiful garments. So his price is rising. Right? Thus he will study, not for the sake of study itself, but for the garment. The garment become more valuable for him than the Torah. That's it, like very simple. Garment is very okay. We guess what? We leave him alone. Okay, well, let it be so. The Rambam continues mentioning other factors that may be employed to motivate the children. For example, money or honor. He concludes, all this is degrading. Nobody say that it's very high, praiseworthy, but our goal is to make this child or adult even to learn Torah. Nevertheless, because of the limits of the person's intellect, It may be necessary to make the goals of wisdom something other than wisdom. So make it something else. Say that it's going to be good for you, and how is it good for you? That at least you give HaShem some chances, right, to help you. Otherwise, if you live like an animal, so you have zero chance. In Hilchot Teshuvah, same place, Rambam also emphasizes how a teacher must slowly mold the child's character to lead him step by step to the appreciation of the proper motives of the service of God. So don't go too even with Baal Teshuvah, right? We don't go too fast. So you go too fast, you break him. Right? You go slowly, even if they want to do everything in day one. As their knowledge grows, their wisdom increases. This secret or service of service of God for His sake should be revealed to him slowly, bit by bit. Don't go to him and say, you know what, I'm going to give you the candy, but you know it's not the best way to serve God. You know that, right? So of course you don't reveal that to him. Because why? Because he's simply going to crush the person. They should become accustomed to this concept gradually until he grasps it and know it and begin serving God out of love. That's amazing commentary. So we can stop here.